Okay, so I just finished watching a TV series that I found on DVD for a while, but never like sat down to watch it. You know, you get caught up with the other things and you just buy stuff for your collection and you just forget about it for a while and then you get around to watching it. Well, this is one of those things. I've had this for quite a while. I don't remember when and where I got it, but I've had it for quite a while. And I was going through the stuff in the closet over there. You see it open because I got it out for the video so I can show you guys the DVDs and all that stuff. But I was going through there and I was like, oh yeah, I have this series. I never did check it out all the way. And I checked it out and it was actually really freaking good. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, but I really ended up enjoying this spin-off series of another series that I really, really, really enjoyed back in the day. And still currently, I haven't rewatched the series this is a spinoff of in a while. I do plan to do that eventually at some point. But we're gonna get into that today and talk about this spin-off series of the X-Files called The Lone Gunmen. So if you like this video, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, all the good stuff. Without further ado, let's get into this video about the Lone Gunmen and what I thought of the series overall. So, yes, this is a 3-disc set, and all the discs are double-sided, which means... Okay, let me just show you. This is the only thing I don't like about these discs, is that they're double-sided. But here's disc 1 and disc 2. And you can see the episode list on the front there. Let me put that in the case. I'm not going to pull out the other disc because it's basically just... But you can see what I mean. I'm going to try not to touch the top of the disc here. But see, they're double-sided discs. I hate these kind of discs. I wish they would have just given you like 6 discs or whatever. I don't know why they didn't do that. But I mean, it is what it is. Whatever. Like, it's fine. I just don't like these because it's really hard to get them out and not like touch the top of the disc. But you can see that they are double-sided. Like, here's the front, and there's the other side. You do have to flip it over to view the other side of the disc. So there is that. But anyway, to get on with what the Lone Gunmen is, if you're familiar with the X-Files, you'll be familiar with who the Lone Gunmen are and what their whole deal is. But for those who aren't familiar with the X-Files or really familiar with them like I am, the Lone Gunmen were a bunch of characters that would help out Mulder and Scully with different cases they had sometimes. And there's 3 Lone Gunmen. There's Frohickey, Byers, and Langley. And they basically do this paper called The Lone Gunmen. It's like an expose slash journalism thing they do where they basically expose like government cover-ups and other types of governmental things and basically write expose stories in a newspaper titled The Lone Gunmen about said things when they have hard proof evidence and they publish it. It's like a small publication, but basically it's not like an underground publication thing. And they're basically just going around trying to prove like government cover-ups and all that kind of stuff. But there's someone that's always like kind of helping them, but also throwing a wrench in their investigations. And her name is Eve. Well, that's her code. She gives out that's like her code name. Her real name gets revealed at the like end of the series, which I'll get that in a second because I'm not going to spoil everything. But basically, the end of the series, they reveal what her actual real name is and all that stuff. But I'm not going to get into that here. But eventually, later on, in like I think It was either episode 4 or 5. It was like midway through the series almost. They got a fourth member named, and I'm not kidding. This was the actual guy's name in the show, Jimmy Bond, and he's kind of he's kind of like a bumbling idiot type of character, but he's also very methodical in the way he like thinks through stuff and does things. He's more rational thinking than the lone gunman, because they'll just go into something and be like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it this way, and not really deviate from it, and they just go and do it. And usually they get like caught or something happens to where one of them gets like kidnapped or something, and the other ones have to like save them, or Eve has to like save them somehow. And when he comes along, he's always on like, hey, look, guys, we should really think about this before we do this. But they usually blow him off because he's like I said, he's kind of an idiot, but he's not really. He just doesn't really have like book smarts like they do. He's more like a street smart kind of guy. But yeah, the dichotomy between like all those three guys, the original three lone gunmen and him, is really good and really funny, especially when Jimmy gets into the show. I think that's when it really starts to hit its stride. But there is one episode I really want to touch on, and that's the pilot episode. And this episode blew my mind. I was like, wow, no wonder people always say Chris Carter predicted 9/11. Because that's always been like a conspiracy theory, and I'll get into why. But basically, the pilot episode deals with, I believe it's Byers' dad is like murdered, but isn't. It's like a fake murder. Like he stages his own murder to make them think that the assassin that went to kill his dad. His dad wanted them to think he was successful, but he wasn't. He actually tripped and fell and shot himself. It was kind of a weird, like bumbly type of thing. Like the assassin literally tripped over something and shot himself, and then he found a tracker on his car. So, Byers' dad basically staged his own death because he was getting close to the truth of what the government was planning to do with an airplane, and it had something with like an arms deal with some like group or something, like a terrorist group or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but basically it dealt with flying a plane, and I'm not freaking making this up. This is like legitimately the like main like other big plot twist point of. It's like near the end of the episode too, which is kind of weird because I wish I would have like fleshed it out more, but it was kind of surreal that was actually like the plot to this episode, because no joke, they were trying to thwart a plane being remotely flown into the World Trade Center by like a remote control, because the autopilot didn't work and stuff like that, so they had to like manually get it back. And I think it was Langley or one of the other guys hacked into the system to disable the remote control thing. So basically, like it was basically the almost like plot for plot like 9/11. Like it was so bizarre to me. I was like, that just blew my mind. I was like, holy crap. This is like literally almost the plot to 9/11. The only difference is it was 9/11 was a legitimate terrorist attack. But this was like a government conspiracy to make it seem like a terrorist attack. And I don't want to say that's where a lot of the conspiracies of that came from, but I'm sure that didn't help it, because that episode aired in March of 2001. I forget the exact date. I think it was like March 6th of 2001. That's only about 6 months prior to 9/11. So yeah, that's just kind of creepy, that, and kind of surreal that that episode was like basically point for point, like about the World Trade Center being like attacked with a plane. Like that it was just insane to me. I was like, wow, no wonder people said, and I'm sure the people that said like Chris Carter predicted 9/11, they were joking, but I'm sure there's some nut jobs out there that actually think like, oh my god, this proves he knew it was an inside job. No, it was just a fluke thing. He's even came out and said like when that happened, I believe they any reruns they did of the show, I believe they pulled that episode just because of the context of it. But I don't ever remember seeing reruns of Lone Gunmen ever. I know this for a fact. I never watched this show when it was new. And I kind of wish I would have, because the last episode of Lone Gunmen is technically a two-parter. It ends on a cliffhanger. It ends on a to be continued. And I was kind of confused. I was like, wait a minute, why is it a to be continued? Because on the last disc of Lone Gunmen complete series, there's an X-Files episode called Jump the Shark. And I was like, I remember that episode. And I'm not going to spoil what happened in the episode because it's a pretty big episode for the Lone Gunmen. But if you know, you know. But if you don't, I don't want to spoil it. But something really, really big happens. That's all I'm going to say. But the context of that episode, you kind of have to watch the Lone Gunmen to get like the full scope for that episode. So like Lone Gunmen is kind of a companion piece to the X-Files in a way, because they are in a few X-Files, like there are in quite a few X-Files episodes as well. And I believe the last X-Files episode before Jump the Shark was like season 9, episode 10 or 11. Like they're in a decent chunk of episodes. And they were even in like a fever dream drug trip episode that Mulder had in one of the newer, I think it was it the event series or was it season 11? I don't know. They came back to reprise the role because I'm not gonna spoil it, but basically they reprised the role as Lone Gunmen. That was the last time they ever appeared in the X-Files. That's all I'm gonna say about that, because I don't want to spoil it if anyone wants to watch this show. But suffice to say, I really dug the Lone Gunmen. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did, but just the whole dichotomy between the four of them and Eve, and the way she helps them and kind of saves their butts, but also does her own thing and does things for her own good, like for money and whatever, like whatever she's trying to get. It's mostly money with her. Like she'll try to get like millions of dollars or whatever. Like if it's like a bounty, or like if someone's trying to steal millions of dollars from like governmental things or something, she'll do it instead of the bad people doing it. So she basically like embezzles money from the government. Like she's a really cool character, and I kind of wish the series was a little longer than just like, I think it's like, is it 13 episodes? I'm pretty sure it's 13 episodes. It's pretty short. I wish it was a little bit longer, but I understand why it's not, because of the things that happen in the series and in the X-Files. It makes sense. But that being said, I do think it's worth watching both X-Files and Lone Gunmen like back to back. Like when you get to Jump the Shark episode, which I think is like season 9, episode 12 or something, I would stop and watch the Lone Gunmen. Just watch it up until that point, and then you can either watch it on the X-Files or on the Lone Gunmen DVD, because they put it on there. Because when I first put it in, it did say how many episodes were on each disc and stuff. I was like, why the hell is there a X-Files episode on the Lone Gunmen series DVD? But now it makes sense. So overall, I'd give the series like a solid 7 out of 10. Like it's nothing super great, but it's definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of like Chris Carter and X-Files. And I guess Millennium, because Millennium was also a spinoff of X-Files, but that's I think the Lance Henderson I forget the guy's name. Whatever his name is in Millennium, I can't remember his freaking name in Millennium. I don't think he was in that many episodes of X-Files. Maybe like 2 or 3. So that's more of a loose spinoff to X-Files. I have never checked out Millennium. I've heard good things about it from a friend of mine, but I've never checked it out. Let me know if you guys think I should check out Millennium. But other than that, like, Lone Gunman is a really, really good companion piece to the X-Files, especially if you watch it right before you get to, like, jump the shark, because then it will the whole series will make sense up until that point. They give you a good rundown of everything on Jump the Shark, but I feel like watching Lone Gunman really gives you the full scope of what they are all about. So I would highly recommend it for anybody that is into like sci-fi and like cover up stuff and stuff like that. Because it's nothing like the X-Files. It's mainly like investigative like stuff. It's not like super sci-fi and stuff like that, like the X-Files. If X-Files isn't your cup of tea, I get it, but Lone Gunman might be up there. If you like conspiracy theory stuff and all this other kind of weird governmental cover-up stuff, you'll probably like the Lone Gunman. So anyway, go check this out. I think it's really, really fun show. Go check this out. It's a really fun show, and I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I picked it up when I did because the bad thing is it's fairly expensive nowadays. It's like $50 to $60. No joke for a DVD. That's pretty expensive for a series. That's not really like that long, so it's kind of expensive for what it is, but it's worth it in my opinion if you're a fan of X-Files. But yeah, that'll do it for me. But before we go, I do want to mention one thing. I actually was lucky enough to meet one of the Lone Gunmen. A while ago, back in 2016, I met this guy right here, Byers. And I'll throw up the picture on screen so you guys can see the picture of my wife and I with him. From what I remember, because it was a while ago, he was a super cool guy. And sadly, I didn't have this at the time, or I would probably have had him sign like down here by his face. Now, the shitty thing was the convention he was at, all 3 of them were gonna be there. And the other 2 guys canceled. And I was so freaking disappointed because I mean I was super excited because I was gonna get the X-Files movie poster that I have signed by all of them, plus the other X-Files people that were there. Like, Mitch Pileggi was there, Assistant Director Skinner, that's who that is. Stephen Williams, he plays one of the... I don't know if they just call him X or what. I forget what his actual character name is. I believe it's just X, but I'm not really sure. And William B. Davis, the cigarette smoking man, was there. I got it signed by him as well. Was that it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all who I got the movie poster signed by. But then I also got a X-Files movie like t-shirt. It was like a woman's t-shirt, but I thought it looked cool because it had the like classic X-Files logo on it. I'll put up a picture of that too so you guys can see it. Oh my god, I got an eyelash in my eye, I think. There we go. But yeah, I got that signed by everybody I met, like from X-Files. Like, I met Annabeth Gish, I met Robert Patrick, I met him twice. Annabeth Gish, then everybody else I mentioned, I got them to sign the T-shirt, so I have that signed. That's actually in storage. I would love to get that framed and hang it up somewhere, in my house, because it's a pretty badass looking shirt. Just all the signatures on it and stuff. And I believe I have the cigarette smoking man pop signed as well. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. I'm almost positive I do. Um, but yeah, super cool that I got to meet some people from X Files and Low Gunmen. Hopefully someday they'll get the other two. Maybe even like get even uh Jimmy, because that would be really cool. But even if they just get the main lone gunman, like, I'd be super like stoked. Why didn't I bring? I didn't bring that to get signed. Why didn't I bring that? Because, small tangent here before I end the video. The lone gunmen do make an appearance in the PS3 game X Files Resist or Serve, and I guess I didn't think about it at the time, but hopefully someday I'll get that signed by like David Duchovny and Joey Anderson. I don't know. You never know. I might get lucky enough to meet them. Who knows? I've gotten lucky enough to meet a lot of people, so who knows? Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Shout out to my patrons for supporting the channel. Thank you guys for supporting. Special shout-outs go to Matt Y99, Reaper 7734. Let me pull up my list here. Give me 1 second. Okay, shout-outs go to Matt Y99, Reaper 7734, Title Cow, AJ Gottawa, Oliver Frederick, Zoe Atfee, It's Me Charlize, Joe William Swift, Jeff 17, Charlie McKeon, Reverse Security, Zoo Hall, Pre-Lab, Just Drew, Arnie Insane, HHG Fan, George McConnell, Elliot Scott, Benjamin Tellen, Matt Lewis-Oro, Vic Gomez, Freddie Ladd, Lee Fernay, and my newest one, TJ Johnson. So thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for all the ones that are supporting me currently as well. Scrolling on the screen. That's everyone that's currently supporting me. Thank you to all my membership people as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please go check this show out if you have an opportunity to. It's really fun. It's a really fun show. And one of these days, I'm probably going to sit down and watch the X-Files all the way through. And maybe I might do like a season breakdown of each season. What I think of each season, like rate them. Let me know if you guys want to see that. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys do, let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace.